Joanne Berry on today's episode, one of the most acclaimed educators in spa. She has been honored by Spa Magazine, Circadia Skincare, and Bellis Academy. If you're an esthetician, please watch this. We're going to cover common gaps in aesthetics curriculums and how to bridge them, what skills you need to learn to get the most bang for your buck, and how to navigate the overwhelming amount of information available online. Hope you guys enjoy.
Joanne, thank you so much for joining us today. It is
My
an
pleasure,
absolute
John.
pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Thank you.
I am so excited to share your perspective. I think you are probably, along with Christine, the most renowned educator in our industry.
Oh gosh, thank you. Definitely been at it for a long time, over 3 decades, but enjoy every minute. Education is my passion and my wheelhouse.
And you're a licensed esthetician and a massage therapist, is that correct?
Yes.
Wow. So if I'm getting this right, you started out as a spa director, and you worked in a spa.
Yes.
And then you went on to teach at Bellis Academy and helped shape a differentiated curriculum for them that was kind of revolutionary in that it merged the massage and the aesthetics tracks together.
Yes, because Bellis Academy, they are visionary with their curriculums, but they're wanting to build people for our industry who are easily hireable.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the differences with America and the UK is that in the UK, we're automatically going to courses that create dual qualified therapists. In America, we do have some dual qualified therapists, but for the most part, people can choose an aesthetics path or a massage path. So this was an opportunity with Bellis. Back in 2009, we started doing the dual qualifications, and it just allowed people to go to spas and be worked on someone who could give them a facial and a full body massage in the same treatment room by the same person. So that's what we did for Bellis back in the day. But I've worked on and off with Bellis now for 20 years, so still near and dear to my heart. The student journey will always be near and dear to my heart because I was a student once as well.
Well, and then you've gone on to do amazing things with oncology aesthetics.
Oh, yeah. Well, Christine Clinton and I, we travel the world teaching oncology aesthetics, oncology massage. We partnered with Circadia. We did the whole Circadia University online. We put together an oncology certification for estheticians, and then they can come and do the live training with Chris and I. We're getting ready to do one in Dallas with 50 estheticians.
Wow.
And then we just launched menopause skin health, which is another hot topic. Because there's millions of women going through menopause in America right now, never mind globally. And it's something to address when it comes to estheticians working on your skin, massage therapists working on your body. So we've addressed that as well as underpinning knowledge for the industry.
Do you think that's a white space for estheticians that are trying to define a specialty?
Yes, I do. Only because menopause has always kind of been, well, for the most part, pushed to the side. We take our hormones, we get on with it. But there's so many skin conditions and body conditions related to going through menopause. As an esthetician and a massage therapist myself, when I'm working on somebody who's premenopausal as to postmenopausal, there's certain things that show up in the skin and the body, and we can address those as massage therapists and estheticians.
Do you see estheticians specializing in menopause in the same way that some do acne or hyperpigmentation?
Yes, exactly. So breakouts are common, rosacea is common, pigmentation, skin fluctuations in temperature. All of these things can be addressed when you have a facial or a massage. And there's a lot of companies out there who realize that now. So we partner with companies to bring these concerns into the spotlight. And then if they've already got a product line, we can isolate certain products and then bring those into a facial or bring those into a massage. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now in the industry from an education standpoint. And then we travel around and see the most amazing wellness spas and work with great therapists and great estheticians. So we're learning from them as well. And of course, our guests who go to those spas. So
I love that. Well, I'd love to speak to those freshly graduated estheticians, to spas that are hiring newly graduated estheticians, and really zero in on this. And I'd love to get your perspective on what are the biggest gaps in the skills that estheticians are graduating with today.
Well, the thing is, John, I'm trained in everything under my 2-year program. Then I did an extra year in aromatherapy. So I did 3 full-time years in England, and then I was fully graduated, age of 18, never looked back, right? When estheticians go to school in America, they go on hours. So for instance, in California where I live in San Diego now, it's 600 hours. There's only so much you can put into 600 hours. So when you graduate, you might not have, and I certainly don't do waxing now, but they might not have a Brazilian waxing license. They might not be able to do brows. When brows is a big hot topic and you can make a lot of money from doing people's brows, they might not have oncology. And that demographic is coming into the spa all the time now. So there's a few gaps in curriculums that I see with schools in general. And what I find is that students graduate and then they go to the shows, like what we're at now, and they find vendors, they find spa suppliers who can then teach them these missing gaps. But what I did with Bellis is I identified with the team those missing gaps, and then we added those into the curriculum. So for instance, you can get your license in 600 hours in California, but then you can add on an extra 300 hours and get your brows and your lashes and your oncology. So now you're graduating at 900 hours with all this extra material. So you don't have to go and find people to then get trained up.
Cobbled together.
Yeah. So there's gaps, but some schools are addressing the gaps. And it's all about getting the best education when you go to school. So it's all about your educators who are mentors as well. And then it's all about what's in that curriculum. So there's many schools out there that are really upping the game right now and providing these areas whilst you're still in school. Because you know what it's like, John, once we get to places like this iSpa, we've already started our journey. And I know for me, I have to carve out serious time if I want to learn a new skill. And I have been doing that. But once you get started in the industry, you want to plow ahead and get going. So
if you were advising a friend who just graduated from aesthetic school, what's the first skill you would advise them?
for me, I'm going to be a little bit biased with you because I'm a massage therapist and an esthetician. I don't do the waxing, I don't do the lashes. I would rather go and see a professional for that. But I just feel some of the real core basics, like good lymphatic drainage, is such a powerful massage technique to have. Like if you're working in a medical spa and you have clients who are going through surgery, pre and post-op for lymphatics is huge. But even if you're just looking at lymphatics for general skin health, I mean, you can help acne, you can help swelling retention on the body or face. So, I would be telling people to really hone up on their massage skills because you can have a basic facial. We can go walking around iSpa now and pick up products, and we can do a protocol, cleansing, toning, massage, mask, finishing products, and that's it. But if I'm giving you a facial, John, and I've got 5 different massage skills built into my facial massage, you're probably going to remember that. And you're probably going to remember me and those massage skills and the product, of course. But that's how we build our books, because we learn these new massage skills. We learn how to provide these more signature movements which keep clients coming back. So I'm pro telling students, when you graduate, there's so many extra skills you can learn. So you got to get in your right lane. Which path do you want to take? Which lane do you want to stay in? For me, it was always staying in aesthetics and massage. So I chose all the massage techniques. I chose the oncology. I chose how to actually treat skin concerns. And I think that's where we need to guide the student or guide the younger therapist or esthetician. What lane do they want to be in? And then match the skills to get them really good at that lane. And if they have great hands, I learned this later on in life, when somebody has great hands, you can just feel the energy tingling through their fingers. How can we increase that energy? How can we give them more skills so that when they put their hands on a client, it's electrifying, and that will build their business hands down.
Well, it makes sense. And you're making that investment once, and then every facial you do from that point on is going to reap the benefits of it. So where does an esthetician go to pick up that, right? Like, I think you approached it because you were having a dual licensure and you naturally integrated it. But where does an esthetician learn specifically that technique of weaving it into their facial service?
There's so many skincare companies that have the most amazing techniques within their facials. So I find educators who work for brands, they are good teachers.
Hmm.
Or if you know that you want to learn something specific, like for instance, lymphatic drainage, the two schools are Voda and Chickley. So you can just Google Voda lymphatic drainage and see what instructor comes up near you. It depends how deep you want to go. If you want to be a lymphatic drainage specialist, you're going to go directly to a source. But if you're learning lymphatic drainage as part of a facial, you might be going to a skincare supplier, a vendor. And they have educators who are going to teach you all this. Yes, I teach oncology and the menopause skin health, but I also teach so many other things through some of the brands that I work with, through
Hmm.
some of the educators like Christine, who you talked about. We teach so much. So sometimes I'm turning up in a spa to teach a brand, and then we start talking about oncology, and then it goes from there. Then the therapist or the spa director can pick and choose, and they can say, oh, when you were talking about oncology, can we focus on that next time? I think it's just finding those good educators out there, either the ones that work with the brands or the ones that are standalone from searching for them.
I love that. I'm glad you zeroed in on lymphatics. If you're an esthetician and you're aspiring to work in a med spa, does that make you dramatically more valuable to that med spa?
Personally, only because I've worked in med spas myself, when you've got a lymphatic drainage background and you just understand the anatomy and physiology of the body and the face and how to actually push the lymph in the right direction to drain it from the body, because lymph is basically a buildup of protein-rich fluid in the interstitial space, just right under the surface, and it looks like it's water retention, but it's very stagnant. And after surgery, after any trauma, you get a buildup of this lymphatic solution around the scar tissue. And just by moving it along, you can dramatically take down someone's swelling and make their appearance look great. So for a doctor who's just done facial surgery, that's a very attractive thing to offer to his patients if his medical esthetician can now provide ongoing post-surgery lymphatic drainage massage. It'll just make his or her work look better.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's valuable, yeah.
So we're in a world right now where anybody can post something on YouTube or TikTok, and there's a lot of noise. And so if you're an esthetician, there's a lot of places that you can get information from. How do they discern whether or not that's quality or legitimate?
God, I mean, we are literally, you could pick up your phone right now, John, and look at TikTok and just see what's trending in the way of creams. I have 4 goddaughters in the UK, and they're all ranging from the age of 13 up to 18, and they're all looking at TikTok, and some of them are buying things like vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, and I'm like, you're 15 years old, you do not need those ingredients on your skin, because it's a lot of hype and it's a lot of influencer talk. So always book into a spa, go to a skilled esthetician, ask the questions there. Because sometimes when you see social media, it really is a flash in the pan. It's not there to stay. Go and have your skin analyzed. Have an esthetician go through those findings with you. And you'll find that you probably don't need a lot of products. You just need very specific ingredients for your skin. It's knowing about cosmetic ingredients, cosmetic chemistry, as we would call it in our industry, understanding how ingredients work with each other, but most importantly, how they work with your skin type as opposed to my skin type.
Hmm.
It's all hyaluronic acid. What is that? It holds 1,000 times its weight in water. So it's great for people who are living in Vegas or who are getting older to put hydration in the skin. Is it good for a 13-year-old or a
Maybe
15-year-old?
not.
Probably not. All right. So this is what we know. And that's a very simple example. But when you get into the more complex acids and things like that, when you're working with acne, which can be life-changing. If you can help someone's acne with knowing your skills and ingredients, you can literally change someone's life. So I think it's very important to go and seek out a skin specialist.
If you're the skin specialist, there's so many brands now, and there's a gap in schools, right? The schools maybe not covering this.
They just haven't got the time to cover it.
Mm-hmm. And so you as an esthetician, you're forced to seek it out elsewhere. How do you tell if that source is good or if they're just speaking nonsense confidently?
Get yourself a mentor. That's what I would say. Look in the industry. So if anyone's listening and they're just starting out, who do you admire in the industry? Who do you look at on social media and think, oh my gosh, there's such a great esthetician, there's such a great massage therapist. Contact them, ask them for advice, ask them to be a mentor. That's what I did. We didn't really have social media when I graduated, but I found a few good mentors and they taught me everything I knew. And then as I've got older, I paid that forward. I think you just have to go back to grassroots, find yourself someone you admire, contact them and say, hey, can you help me with this?
Who is that person for you? Does one stand out?
There's so many,
Okay.
so many. Unfortunately, some of them aren't even here anymore. I was trained by some amazing educators back in the day. We're talking early 90s, you know.
If you had to pick one.
Probably Geraldine Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Geraldine was my aromatherapy instructor with Aromatherapy Associates. Unfortunately, we lost her 10 years ago. But what I learned about aromatherapy as an 18-year-old has carried me way into my 50s now. And I'll never forget her lessons and how I still use aromatherapy every single day. And I tell every single client who I put my hands on about aromatherapy. So she's definitely one person who really springs to mind because I was so young as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Geraldine was probably only in her 30s and I thought she was just this guru, you know, like 100 years old. She was just so knowledgeable with aromatherapy. That was her lane. So I learned from somebody in their lane,
Mm-hmm.
and then I adopted that lane, and now aromatherapy has become a passion of mine.
If you could pass on one awesome nugget of knowledge from Geraldine, what would it be?
The smells that you like are the smells that you need.
Can you expand on that?
So if I hand you a lemon essential oil right now and you smell it and you go, oh, that's really nice. And then I hand you a lavender essential oil and you go, it means that lemon is uplifting, lavender is relaxing. So right now, you probably need uplifting. But then tomorrow, if I come and see you again and we do the lemon and lavender and it's now 10 o'clock at night and you go, oh, I don't like the lemon now. I like the lavender. That's because lavender's relaxing and that's the smell that you need. Your body will always tell you what you need.
Very interesting. How would an esthetician take that and use it to introduce an element of customization in their service?
I do it all the time. If I'm doing a facial, I work with a brand right now, Wildsmith, beautiful brand, and they have circadian rhythm oils. Depending on the time of day, you can choose an oil up till 12 noon, which is vitality. You can choose an oil from 12 till 4, which is purity, so more purifying, decongesting. And then if it's after 4 o'clock, you can choose a relaxing oil. And all the oils in there will obviously balance your circadian rhythm throughout the day. You can customize your treatment based on the time of day using essential oils.
I
So
love
use all the
that.
uplifting oils in the morning, all the balancing, decongesting oils in the afternoon, and then all the sleepy oils at night.
I love that. Well, thank you, Stenberg. It has been a pleasure. I'm just really grateful for your time